In the last episode, my companions and I had just received a cryptic transmission from our enigmatic ally, setting me on a quest to uncover the fabled Aethereian archive. With renewed determination, I ventured into the abandoned city to track down the elusive cartographer, Aethereia, whose arcane maps held the key to unlocking the secrets of Aethereia's forgotten past. I was joined by Dr. Orion, whose brilliant mind and expertise would prove invaluable in deciphering the ancient relics we'd encounter. As I stepped into the desolate streets, a gust of wind whipped through the ruins, sending debris swirling around my feet. The city's skeletal remains stretched out before me like a graveyard of steel and stone. I spotted Dr. Orion by my side, her eyes scanning the horizon. "What's your plan, Alex?" she asked. I pulled out Aethereia's last known coordinates. We track down Aethereia, get the maps, and start searching for the archive. Dr. Orion nodded, sounds straightforward. Her tone was laced with skepticism. We walked in silence for a while, the only sound being the crunch of gravel beneath our feet. The city was a maze, and I knew we had to move quickly. Our presence wouldn't go unnoticed for long. As we navigated through the ruins, I noticed a strange symbol etched into the wall. It looked like a mix of ancient languages. Dr. Orion followed my gaze. "That symbol is from an ancient dialect," she said. "It's a warning." "A warning?" I turned to her. "What does it say?" Her eyes narrowed. "It says, 'Turn back now while you still can.'" A shiver ran down my spine. "I think we're getting close." Suddenly, a loud noise echoed through the streets, followed by the sound of footsteps. "It seems we're not alone." Dr. Orion drew her sidearm. "Time to see what other secrets this city holds." We moved cautiously, our senses on high alert as the footsteps drew closer. A figure emerged from the shadows, a young woman with a scar above her left eyebrow. "Can I help you?" she asked, her hand on the hilt of her sword. I took a deep breath. "We're looking for Aethereia." The woman's expression changed. "You're either very brave or very foolish." She paused. Kale." I extended my hand. "Alex." Kale's grip was firm. "Let's talk." As we conversed with Kale, I couldn't shake the feeling that we were being watched. The city's shadows seemed to be growing longer, as if they themselves were moving. I glanced at Dr. Orion. "You sense anything?" Her eyes flicked around. "Not yet, but I will." Kale led us through the winding streets, eventually stopping at a nondescript door. "Aethereia's been expecting you." She produced a key, "but be warned, she's not in a stable condition." The door creaked open, revealing a dimly lit room. Aethereia sat in the center, surrounded by maps and strange artifacts, her eyes locked onto mine. Finally, the room seemed to shrink, as if the shadows themselves were closing in. The air thickened with anticipation. And then, everything went black. Previously, Alex and Dr. Orion ventured into the abandoned city to track down the elusive cartographer, Aethereia, whose arcane maps held the key to unlocking the secrets of Aethereia's forgotten past. They encountered Kale, a skilled warrior who led them to Aethereia's lair, where they found the cartographer in a precarious state, surrounded by maps and artifacts. As Aethereia locked eyes with Alex, the room darkened and everything went black. I slowly opened my eyes, groggily taking in my surroundings. Dr. Orion stood over me, concern etched on her face. We were still in the dimly lit room, but something felt off. Kale stood by the door, her eyes fixed on Aethereia, who seemed different. Her eyes, once bright with an otherworldly intensity, now seemed dull, as if a spark had been extinguished. "Alex," Dr. Orion whispered, helping me to my feet. "What happened?" I shook my head, trying to clear the fog. "I don't know." One minute we were talking to Aethereia, and the next, Kale intervened, her voice laced with caution. "We need to get out of here. Now." I glanced at Aethereia, who sat motionless, her maps and artifacts scattered around her. "We can't leave her like this." Dr. Orion's grip on my arm tightened. "Alex, we don't have a choice. Whatever happened, it's not safe for us to stay." As we made our way out of the room, I couldn't shake the feeling that we'd left something crucial behind. Aethereia's maps, though scattered, still held the secrets of the Aethereian archive. We needed to get them, but as I turned back, I saw Kale's stern expression. "Trust me, Alex. We'll come back for Aethereia. But for now, Our priority is getting out of this city alive. We navigated the winding streets, Kralian clan's skilled warrior, Kale, leading the way. As we walked, the sounds of the city grew louder and the shadows seemed to pulse with an ominous energy. Dr. Orion kept close, her hand on the hilt of her sidearm, ready for anything. Suddenly, the air was filled with the sound of wings beating. A dark figure descended from the rooftops, its wings spread wide. Vex, the cunning smuggler, sneered at us. "Looks like you're in a bit of a pickle, Alex. You and your friends are coming with me." Kale stepped forward, her hand on the hilt of her sword. "I don't think so, Vex." The smuggler chuckled, his expression twisted. "Oh, I think you're in no position to negotiate." As Vex's henchmen emerged from the shadows, Dr. Orion and Kale readied themselves for battle. I stood tall, my determination solidifying. We wouldn't let Vex get the better of us. Not now. Not when we were so close to uncovering the secrets of the Aethereian archive. The battle was intense, with Dr. Orion's combat skills and Kale's swordsmanship pitted against the smuggler's henchmen. I fought alongside them, using my wits and agility to take down our foes. As the fight raged on, I spotted an opportunity to slip away, to find a way to outmaneuver Vex and reclaim Aethereia's maps. I glanced at Dr. Orion and Kale, my heart pounding. I need to take care of something, trust me. Dr. Orion's eyes narrowed, but she nodded. "Go, Alex, we've got this." I slipped away, weaving through the chaos, my heart pounding in my chest. I had to get Aethereia's maps no matter the cost. The fate of Aethereia depended on it. As I made my way back to Aethereia's lair, I couldn't shake the feeling that I was walking into a trap, but I was ready. I had to be. For Aethereia's sake, for my friends, and for the hope of a brighter tomorrow. Previously, Alex and Dr. Orion ventured into the abandoned city to track down the elusive cartographer Aethereia, whose arcane maps held the key to unlocking the secrets of Aethereia's forgotten past. They encountered Kale, a skilled warrior who led them to Aethereia's lair, where they found the cartographer in a precarious state, surrounded by maps and artifacts. As Aethereia locked eyes with Alex, the room darkened and everything went black. I sprinted through the winding streets, my heart racing as I navigated the treacherous alleys. The battle between Dr. Orion, Kale, and Vex's henchmen was still raging on, but I knew I had to get to Aethereia's maps before Vex's crew swooped in to snatch them. I dodged debris and leaped over rubble, my senses on high as I burst into the dimly lit lair. The air reeked of smoke and destruction, but my eyes locked onto the scattered maps and artifacts. I rushed to gather the maps, my hands shaking as I carefully rolled them up, trying not to crease them. Suddenly, a faint whisper echoed in my mind, "Alex, behind you." I spun around, my heart skipping a beat as a dark figure emerged from the shadows. Aethereia stood before me, her eyes dull, now flickering with an otherworldly intensity. Her gaze locked onto mine, and I felt a shiver run down my spine. "Alex, I'm a pawn in a much larger game," she whispered, her voice barely audible. "You must find the truth beyond the maps. Beyond Aethereia." I froze, unsure how to process this cryptic message. But before I could respond, a loud crash echoed and Vex's henchmen stormed into the lair, their guns drawn. I shielded Aethereia, ready to defend her, but she simply nodded and vanished into thin air. I stood stunned, staring at the spot where Shed disappeared. The henchmen closed in, their guns trained on me. I knew I had to act fast. Using my agility, I dodged their attacks, using the scattered artifacts to distract them. As I fought, I realized that Aethereia's hint beyond the maps, beyond Aethereia, might just hold the key to our survival. I managed to fend off the henchmen, but I knew it was only a temporary reprieve. Vex would stop at nothing to claim the secrets of the Aethereian archive. I had to find a way to get back to Dr. Orion and Kale and come up with a new plan. But as I emerged from the lair, I saw that Vex had already anticipated this move. His airship loomed overhead, its cannons trained on the city. The smuggler's voice boomed from the airship's PA system. "Alex, you're running out of options. Surrender now and I might just spare your friends' lives." I clenched my fists, my determination solidifying. I wouldn't back down, Not now. Not when the fate of Aethereia hung in the balance. With a fierce cry I rallied, my heart pounding in my chest. I would outsmart Vex, no matter the cost. For my friends, for the hope of a brighter tomorrow. The battle was far from over previously. Alex had to navigate the treacherous lair to gather Illyria's arcane maps, only to have the cartographer vanish with a cryptic message, leaving him to fend off Vex's henchmen. Now, with the smuggler's airship cannons trained on the city, Alex must find a way to outsmart Vex before it's too late. As I stood beneath the looming airship, the city around me transformed into a battleground. The skies filled with Vex aircraft while his henchmen swarmed the streets. I knew I had to think fast or we'd all be killed. But then, a glimmer of hope emerged on the horizon. Kale, perched atop a nearby rooftop, gestured to a narrow alleyway. I sprinted towards her, weaving through the chaos. We converged in the alley where Dr. Orion awaited, nursing a wounded arm. Vex has us surrounded, Kale stated bluntly. We need to even the odds. Dr. Orion nodded despite his injury, his eyes shining with determination. I think I can hack into Vex airship systems. If we can disable their cannons, it might give us an opening to escape. Kale nodded. I'll take point. We'll clear a path to the airship. Alex, can you get onto the ship and take out Vex? I took a deep breath. This was our best chance. Let's do this. With Kale leading the charge, we fought our way through Vex henchmen and drones, slowly closing in on the airship's docking bay. Dr. Orion, utilizing his hacking skills, managed to disable the ship's exterior defenses, allowing me to slip on board undetected. As I crept through the airship's corridors, I encountered Vex's elite guards, but my agility and quick reflexes kept me one step ahead. Finally, I reached the bridge, where Vex sat, confident in his victory. With a cold smile, I faced him. You underestimated us, Vex, and now it's time to pay the price. Vex sneered, but I could see the faintest glimmer of uncertainty in his eyes. He knew he'd pushed his luck too far. You're just a foolish hero, Alex, he spat. You'll never defeat the Archon regime. They'll crush you just like they did Aethereia. His words stung, but I didn't let them deter me. With a fierce cry, I charged forward, taking down Vex guards and closing in on the smuggler himself. The outcome was far from certain, but I had one thing Vex didn't: hope. And with every fiber of my being, I knew I'd fight to the end to protect my friends and the future of Aethereia. The battle raged on, with Vex airship teetering on the edge of defeat. But as I gained the upper hand, a strange energy signature began to emanate from the city below, an energy that would change the course of our journey forever. Previously, Alex narrowly escaped Vex's ambush, joining forces with Kale and Dr. Orion to infiltrate the smuggler's airship and disable its cannons. With Vex's elite guards falling to Alex's quick reflexes, the smuggler himself now faced defeat. But the sudden appearance of an unknown energy signature from the city below threatened to upset the balance of power. As I pinned Vex to the ground, the energy surge intensified, illuminating the darkened corridors of the airship. The ship's systems began to fail, and Vex's terrified guards fled in disarray. But Vex, with a cunning grin, whispered, "You may have won this battle, Alex, but the war is far from over." Suddenly, the airship lurched violently, throwing me off balance. Vex took advantage of the distraction, slipping free from my grasp and disappearing into the chaos. The ship careened wildly, plummeting towards the city below. Dr. Orion's hacking skills were no match for the ship's malfunctioning systems, and I found myself staring into the abyss, my friends scattered and helpless. In the midst of the wreckage, Kale emerged, her eyes flashing with determination. "We need to get out of here now," she shouted, grabbing my arm and pulling me towards the docking bay. We leaped from the ship mere seconds before it crashed into the city, sending debris flying everywhere. As we stumbled through the rubble, the unknown energy signature grew stronger, drawing us towards the city's central square. The air was filled with an otherworldly glow, and I sensed something ancient awakening. The city itself seemed to be transforming before our eyes, ancient architecture unfolding like a puzzle. Dr. Orion, limping behind us, gasped, It's the heart, the central nexus of Aethereia's ancient energy grid. As we approached the heart, a radiant light enveloped us, imbuing me with an unshakable sense of purpose. I knew that this was just the beginning, that the Aethereian archive and the secrets it held would lead me to the very heart of Aethereia's forgotten past. Kale grasped my arm, her eyes shining with a newfound determination. This is our chance, Alex. We're not just fighting for our own survival, but for the future of Aethereia itself. With the Aethereian heart pulsating before us, I knew that our journey was far from over. We had uncovered a hidden truth, and now we had to confront the unknown forces that had awakened, forces that would test our resolve and push us to the limits of our courage previously. Alex and his companions narrowly escaped Vex's ambush, infiltrated the smuggler's airship, and disabled its cannons. However, the sudden appearance of an unknown energy signature from the city below threatened to upset the balance of power, and Vex escaped, vowing that the war was far from over. As we stood before the pulsating Aethereian heart, I felt an unshakable sense of purpose, and I knew that our journey was far from over. The heart's energy enveloped us, imbuing me with a newfound determination to uncover the secrets of Aethereia's forgotten past. But as we gazed upon the radiant light, a subtle tremor ran through the ground and the city's architecture began to shift and change before our eyes. "What's happening?" Kale asked, her voice tinged with concern as the tremors intensified. "It's the heart," Dr. Orion exclaimed, his eyes fixed on the energy signature. "It's calling to us, drawing us deeper into the city's ancient infrastructure." With the Aethereian heart pulsating before us, I knew we had to follow its call. The heart was the central nexus of Aethereia's ancient energy grid, and I sensed that it held the key to unlocking the secrets of the Aethereian archive. We had to move, and fast, before the city's transformation became too intense. Without hesitation, I led my companions deeper into the city, navigating treacherous landscapes as ancient structures unfolded before us like a puzzle. The air was filled with an otherworldly glow, and I sensed that we were getting close to the Aethereian archive. We were getting close to the heart of Aethereia's forgotten past. As we delved deeper, the city's architecture became increasingly complex, and we found ourselves navigating labyrinthine tunnels and hidden underground network. We encountered unexpected allies, skilled warriors from the Kralian clan, who joined forces with us, and together we navigated the treacherous landscapes. We also stumbled upon hidden temples, ancient relics, and cryptic artifacts that held secrets of Aethereia's forgotten past. With each new discovery, our determination grew and our bond was tempered. I knew that our quest was far from over, and that the Aethereian archive held the key to changing the course of Aethereian history. But with each step forward, we faced new challenges, formidable foes, who would stop at nothing to claim the archive's secrets for themselves. The cunning smuggler, Vex, was just one of many, and I knew that our journey would culminate in a decisive climax that would change the course of Aethereian history. As we navigated the city's hidden underworld, I began to realize that our quest was not just about uncovering the secrets of the Aethereian archive, but about forging a new future for Aethereia, a future built on courage, hope, and a world where unity had overcome the darkness of their past. I knew that our journey would be fraught with danger, but I was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, knowing that my companions stood by my side, united in our determination to change the course of Aethereian history previously. Alex and his companions narrowly escaped Vex's ambush, infiltrated the smuggler's airship, and disabled its cannons. However, the sudden appearance of an unknown energy signature from the city below threatened to upset the balance of power, and Vex escaped, vowing that the war was far from over. As they stood before the pulsating Aethereian heart, Alex felt an unshakable sense of purpose, and their journey was far from over. The city's architecture shifted and changed before our eyes, as if the Aethereian heart was reconfiguring the ancient infrastructure to reveal a hidden path. I sensed that we were getting close to the Aethereian archive, and we had to move quickly before the city's transformation became too intense. "We need to find a way to stabilize the energy flux," Dr. Orion exclaimed, his eyes scanning the data streaming on his wrist-mounted console. "If we don't, the entire city could collapse." Without hesitation, I led my companions deeper into the city, navigating treacherous landscapes as ancient structures unfolded before us like a puzzle. We stumbled upon an ancient temple, hidden beneath the city's surface, where the air was thick with the whispers of forgotten knowledge. As we ventured deeper, we stumbled upon a cryptic artifact, an ancient scroll, adorned with intricate Aethereian runes. Kale, with her knowledge of ancient languages, recognized the symbols as a map leading to the Aethereian library. The scroll hinted at a secret passage, hidden within the city's ancient infrastructure, that would lead us to the Aethereian archive. We knew that we were getting close, and our bond was tempered by the weight of our quest. I sensed that we were being watched, and our determination was fueled by the knowledge that we were being hunted. The cunning smuggler, Vex, was just one of many who would stop at nothing to claim the archive's secrets for themselves. As we navigated the city's hidden infrastructure, we encountered unexpected allies, skilled warriors from the Kralian clan, who shared our determination to claim the Aethereian archive. Together, we navigated treacherous landscapes, avoiding formidable foes and overcoming heart-stopping showdowns. In the depths of the city's underground network, we stumbled upon an ancient temple, hidden beneath the city's surface. Inside, we discovered an ancient relic, a crystal orb, imbued with the secrets of Aethereian's forgotten past. The orb hinted at a hidden ally, a powerful Aethereian entity who would aid us in our quest, but at a terrible cost. With each new discovery, our determination grew and our bond was tempered. I knew that our journey was far from over, and that the Aethereian archive held the key to changing the course of Aethereian history. But I also knew that our journey would culminate in a decisive climax that would change the course of Aethereian history. Previously, Alex and his companions escaped Vex's ambush, disabled the smuggler's cannons, and witnessed the sudden appearance of an unknown energy signature from the city below, which Vex vowed would lead to further conflict. As they stood before the Aethereian heart, Alex felt an unshakable sense of purpose, and their journey was far from over. The air was heavy with anticipation as we stood before the ancient temple, hidden beneath the city's surface. I could sense the weight of our quest and the determination that fueled us. "We're close," I whispered, my eyes locked on the cryptic scroll now spread out before us. "The Aethereian archive is within our reach." Dr. Orion's console beeped and he frowned. "The energy flux is intensifying. We need to find a way to stabilize it, or risk being crushed by the city's transformation." As we ventured deeper into the temple, the whispers of forgotten knowledge grew louder. We stumbled upon an ancient chamber, filled with ancient relics, and at the heart of it, a pedestal, adorned with the symbol of the Ethereal, a powerful Aethereian entity rumored to hold the secrets of Aethereia's forgotten past. Suddenly, the chamber was bathed in an intense, blinding light. When my vision cleared, a figure stood before us, Lyra, the enigmatic warrior from the Kralian clan. "I've been sent to aid you," she said, her eyes locked on the Aethereian entity within the crystal orb, "but at a terrible cost." The temple began to shake and the energy flux spiked. "We need to get out of here now." As we navigated the crumbling temple, Lyra led us through a hidden passage, revealed by the ancient relic. The passage led us deep beneath the city, into a network of ancient tunnels, hidden beneath the metropolis. "We're getting close," Lyra whispered, her eyes locked on the tunnel ahead. "The Aethereian archive is guarded by powerful Aethereian entities, and Vex forces are closing in." I steeled myself, knowing that every step forward would bring us closer to changing the course of Aethereian history. But at what cost? Previously, Alex and his companions escaped Vex's ambush, and witnessed an unknown energy signature from the city below, vowing further conflict. As they stood before the Aethereian heart, Alex felt an unshakable sense of purpose, and their journey was far from over. The air grew thick with anticipation as we navigated the ancient tunnels, Lyra leading us deeper into the heart of the Aethereian underworld. I could feel the weight of our quest and the determination that fueled us. "We're getting close," Lyra whispered, her eyes locked on the tunnel ahead. The Aethereian archive is guarded by powerful Aethereian entities, and Vex forces are closing in. Suddenly, the tunnel walls began to rumble, and the air was filled with the thunderous roar of ancient machinery. The ground shook beneath our feet, and Lyra's eyes snapped towards the tunnel's end. "It's the Aethereian gatekeepers," she whispered. "They've activated the ancient defense systems." Dr. Orion's console beeped wildly, and he frantically worked to hack into the ancient systems. "I can try to override the defenses, but it's a long shot," he said, his eyes locked on the console. As the gatekeepers emerged from the shadows, their ethereal forms illuminated by the flickering tunnel lights, I steeled myself for the impending battle. Lyra drew her sword, its blade shimmering with an otherworldly energy. "We need to hold them off until Dr. Orion can bypass the defenses." The air was electric with tension as we faced off against the gatekeepers. The battle raged on, with Lyra's sword slicing through the air, and Dr. Orion's console beeping wildly as he worked to hack into the ancient systems. I joined the fray, channeling my energy to bolster Lyra's attacks, and Dr. Orion finally breached the defenses, shutting down the gatekeepers. As the tunnel fell silent, Lyra's sword still trembled with energy. "We did it," she whispered, her eyes locked on the tunnel's end. The Aethereian archive lay before us, its secrets waiting to be unlocked. But at what cost? As we stood before the archive, a figure emerged from the shadows, Alara, the cartographer. Her eyes gleamed with an otherworldly intensity. "You've proven your worth," she said, her voice laced with an ancient wisdom. "But to unlock the secrets of Aethereia's forgotten past, you must prove your willingness to pay the price." I steeled myself, knowing that every step forward would bring us closer to changing the course of Aethereian history. But at what cost? Previously, Alex and his companions before the Aethereian gate witnessed an unknown energy signature and Vex ambush, and felt an unshakable sense of purpose. As they navigated ancient tunnels, Lyra guided them deeper, and they finally reached the Aethereian archive, guarded by powerful Aethereian entities. "The price of knowledge is always steeper than you imagine," Alara's voice whispered in my mind as I stood before the Aethereian archive, the air thick with anticipation. Lyra's gaze was fixed on me, her eyes burning with an unspoken challenge. Dr. Orion's console beeped softly, a reminder that the window of opportunity was narrow. I took a deep breath, the weight of my companion's trust settling upon me. "I'm ready," I said, my voice firm. Alara's eyes gleamed with an otherworldly intensity as she stepped forward, her hands weaving intricate patterns in the air. The tunnel's walls began to shimmer, and the air was electrified with an ancient energy. "The archive's power will be unlocked, but be warned, the secrets within will come at a great cost." As the air seemed to thicken, I felt a shiver run down my spine. The tunnel's walls began to dissolve, revealing a realm of shimmering crystal structures that pierced the air like shards of glass. The Aethereian archive lay before us, its secrets waiting to be unlocked. With a deep breath, I stepped forward, my companions following closely behind. The air was filled with an otherworldly music, the crystal structures humming in harmony. I felt a sense of wonder as I reached out to touch the archive's central crystal, its surface shimmering like the stars on a clear night. As my fingers made contact, the world around me dissolved, and I was flooded with visions of Aethereia's forgotten past. I saw the ancient civilization that once called this world home, their cities shining like beacons of hope in a dark universe. I saw the cataclysm that ravaged the planet, and the remnants of a once great people who fled to the underground, seeking refuge from the devastation. I saw the Archon regime, built upon the ruins of the old world, its towers piercing the dark sky like daggers. The visions faded and I stood gasping, the air thick with the weight of knowledge. Lyra's eyes met mine, her gaze burning with a fierce determination. Dr. Orion's console beeped wildly, his eyes locked on the data streaming in. "The location of the Aethereian heart," he whispered, his voice filled with awe. "It's the key to restoring Aethereia's balance." As we stood before the archive, Alara's voice whispered in my mind once more. "The price of knowledge is steeper than you imagined." I felt a shiver run down my spine as I realized the truth: our journey was far from over. The darkness that lurked in the shadows, waiting to strike, was growing stronger by the minute. Vex forces were closing in, and the Archon regime would stop at nothing to claim the Aethereian archive secrets for themselves. I steeled myself, knowing that every step forward would bring us closer to changing the course of Aethereian history. But at what cost? The tunnel's walls seemed to close in around us, the air thick with the weight of our quest. I knew that the journey ahead would be fraught with danger, but I was ready. For I had grown into a hero, and I would not falter previously. Alex and his companions reached the Aethereian archive, witnessing an unknown energy signature and Vex ambush, and felt an unshakable sense of purpose. As they navigated ancient tunnels, Lyra guided them deeper, and they finally unlocked the secrets of the Aethereian archive, with the price of knowledge weighing heavily upon them. The air around us seemed to thicken, as if the very fabric of reality was unraveling, and I felt a chill run down my spine as I gazed out at the endless expanse of the Aethereian structures. Lyra's eyes were fixed on me, her gaze burning with an unspoken challenge, as Dr. Orion's console beeped wildly, the data streaming in like a tidal wave of revelations. Alara's voice whispered in my mind once more, her words echoing like a mantra in the darkness. "The journey ahead will be fraught with danger, but you have grown into a hero, and heroes do not falter." As if in answer, the wall of the tunnel began to shimmer, and a figure emerged from the shadows. It was Kale, the Kralian warrior, his eyes gleaming with a fierce determination. "I will aid you on your journey," he said, his voice low and menacing. "Together, we will face the dangers that lie ahead and claim the Aethereian heart." I felt a surge of hope, as our company of heroes grew stronger, and I knew that with Kale by our side, we could overcome any obstacle, no matter how formidable. But as we stood there, bathed in the soft glow of the archive's light, I knew that we were not out of danger yet. Vex forces were closing in, the Archon regime was gathering its strength, and the darkness that lurked in the shadows was growing stronger by the minute. "We must leave now," Alara's voice whispered in my mind, her words laced with an urgency that I have never heard before. "The window of opportunity is narrowing, and we must claim the Aethereian heart before it falls into the wrong hands." I nodded, knowing that our journey was far from over and that every step forward would bring us closer to changing the course of Aethereian history. But at what cost? The tunnel's walls seemed to close in around us, the air thick with the weight of our quest. I knew that the journey ahead would be fraught with danger, but I was ready. For I had grown into a hero, and I would not falter previously. Alex and his companions finally unlocked the secrets of the Aethereian archive, but the price of knowledge weighed heavily upon them, and they were faced with the urgent task of claiming the Aethereian heart before it fell into the wrong hands. As we hastened our departure, the air seemed to vibrate with anticipation, and I could feel the weight of destiny settling upon my shoulders. Kralian warriors flanked us, their imposing presence a testament to the unyielding determination that drove us forward. Lyra's gaze still burned with an unspoken challenge, as if daring me to confront the darkness that lurked in the shadows. Dr. Orion's voice was laced with a sense of wonder, his eyes darting between the console and the ancient structures surrounding us. With Alara's whispered guidance, we navigated the treacherous tunnels, Vex's forces closing in on us with every step. The Archon regime's influence grew stronger, its dark tendrils snaking through the shadows, seeking to claim the Aethereian heart for itself. Kale's fierce determination and the Kralian warriors' unwavering bravery buoyed our spirits as we pressed onward, undaunted by the perils that lay ahead. As we emerged from the tunnels, the Aethereian landscape unfolding before us like a canvas of ancient secrets, we were confronted by the imposing figure of Vex. His cunning smile seemed to mock us as he sneered at our foolhardiness. "You'll never claim the Aethereian heart," he spat, his eyes glinting with malevolence. "It's mine and mine alone." With a fierce cry, the Kralian warriors charging forward, their battle-hardened bodies a blur of steel and fury. Vex's mercenaries were no match for their skill and ferocity, and soon the battlefield was littered with the defeated. Amidst the chaos, I approached Vex, my heart pounding in my chest. This was the moment of truth. "You've lost," I said, my tone cold, my determination unwavering. "The Aethereian heart will not fall into your hands." Vex's eyes narrowed, a cold calculation flickering within their dark depths. Perhaps he sneered. "But the Archon regime will not be so easily defeated." As if in answer, the air seemed to shudder, the darkness that lurked in the shadows coalescing into a palpable presence. The Archon regime's power surged forward, its dark tendrils snaking around us, seeking to claim the Aethereian heart. With a fierce determination, I raised my hands, the energy of the Aethereian archive coursing through me. The air around us seemed to thicken, as if the very fabric of reality was bending to our will. Slowly, the darkness receded, the Archon regime's influence waning as we stood strong against its power. As the darkness dissipated, the air seemed to vibrate with an otherworldly energy. The Aethereian heart, glowing with an intense, pulsing light, hovered before us, its power calling to me like a beacon. With a deep breath, I reached out, my hand closing around the heart's pulsing core. The Aethereian landscape around us seemed to shudder, as if the very fabric of reality were shifting. The air vibrated with an intense energy as the secrets of the archive and the power of the Aethereian heart surged through me. I felt myself being transformed, my vision expanding, as I beheld the entirety of Aethereian history unfolding before me. As the vision faded, I stood tall, the Aethereian heart glowing brightly in my hand. My companions surrounded me, their faces etched with awe and admiration. Kale's fierce determination, Lyra's unwavering resolve, and Dr. Orion's brilliant mind had guided us through the trials and tribulations. We had faced the darkness and emerged victorious. As we stood there, basking in the glow of our triumph, the air seemed to vibrate with a new energy. The Aethereian landscape unfolded before us, a blank canvas waiting to be written upon. I knew that our journey had changed the course of Aethereian history, paving the way for a brighter future. Our hearts filled with possibility, we looked toward the horizon, our bravery and selflessness creating a lasting legacy. The darkness of the past had been overcome and a new dawn had broken. Epilogue. As the years passed, the Aethereian landscape transformed, the darkness of the past giving way to a brighter future. The secrets of the archive were used to forge a new era of Aethereia, where courage, hope, and unity had overcome the shadows of the past. Alex's name became etched in history, as a hero who had dared to dream of a better tomorrow. And as the Aethereian people looked toward the horizon, their hearts filled with hope and optimism, they whispered a single phrase, a mantra that would guide them through the ages. The journey ahead will be fraught with danger, but we have grown into heroes, and heroes do not falter.